Welcome back to the Edge of Main Street. I am Sheena.
I'm Justin.
And today we are talking about how much does a Disney World trip really cost? So maybe your family has decided, hey, we want to go to Disney, but in your mind, you're thinking, there's no way we can afford it. Now, granted, you can spend like $10,000 or upwards on a Disney World trip, but you don't have to. That's how we get to go so often. So today we're going to talk about what things really cost so you can have an idea of what to expect and even give you a few budget saving ideas. So stay tuned. Have an idea of how much your family wants to spend on a vacation in general. If you're like, well, usually we only spend about, $2,000 or $3,000, or you're maybe like, no, we can spend, close to $5,000 or $6,000. So have a mental idea of how much you want to budget. You can always adjust it later once you actually hear the prices or see the prices of things. But just get a general idea of what your family wants to budget for a trip. Because if you don't, then you're gonna be kind of going crazy when you go to look at everything. So have an idea of what your family wants to spend.
So we're super excited to talk about, let's just talk about resorts first, like sleeping and staying, not even getting into the parks yet. There's technically 4 different ways that you can stay at Disney World. And so I'll hit those. And then if you could elaborate on that, it'd be really helpful. So the first one is just staying off property. You can stay off property if you want to. You can stay off property with hotels. You can stay with good neighbor hotels that are connected to Disney, but they're just good partnered hotels. And then there's 3 different areas. You can stay with the Value Resort, which is on property. The second one is moderate. And the final one is the Big Daddy. That's where you can spend the big bucks, and it's deluxe. They all have perks. They all have advantages. They all have disadvantages. I say, first of all, the disadvantage for staying off property is time. It's distance. It's not like a quick jump on and get off. So you don't get a perk there. You do get a perk of, typically you can get a much larger room at a significantly cheaper rate compared to what you're going to get on property.
Also, sorry to interrupt, a lot of people have like vacation club homes. They're not called vacation club. Timeshares.
Like
That's what I'm looking
for.
So a lot of people have timeshares that they can use in the Orlando area.
Yeah.
Also, there's things like Airbnb. There's, the vacation rental units that you can use. So you have a lot more options. But like you were saying, there's kind of some pros and cons. And one of the big cons to staying off property is that time. Time is money to us. So our opinion is we would rather spend a little more money for the convenience of staying on property, but you'll have to kind of weigh that on what that works best for your family.
Yeah, and we're going to give it from the perspective of what we've seen and what we typically enjoy.
For staying off-site, you can also have, like, if you have points, if you are a Hilton Honors member,
Hilton,
so a lot of people will actually use points staying there too. So that's another thing that you can think about. But the off-property resorts are totally, the price is going to vary completely. It's going to be like, $80 a night at local motels to, sky's the limit at the Ritz-Carlton or something like that. So there's no easy way to give you a price on that, but just realize that you probably can save some money and get a bigger room if you stay off property, but you might not have all of the same perks like transportation, fast passes, extra magic hours that you'd get if you stayed on property.
Highly recommend checking out the Good Neighbor icon. That lets them know that they have a good relationship with Disney World. So that's what I would recommend.
Also, with some of the off-property sites, just because it's not a Disney World property does not mean that you don't get any perks.
Yeah, true.
A lot of the Good Neighbors will offer like the fast passes at 60 days. You get Disney shuttles, or at least a shuttle from the resort, and you can even use the extra magic hours. So it doesn't mean just because you're staying off property that you won't get those perks. You just might not. You have to look into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get on the property. Where we like to stay at, and is going to be your most budget friendly, is going to be considered a value resort. So look for value resort. Okay.
And the value resorts are all of the All-Stars. Mm-hmm. You also have Pop Century and you have Art of Animation. Although Art of Animation, there's a caveat. It's a newer hotel, and they also have family suites. So all of the other value resorts, you can only fit 4 people in a room. So if your family is more than 4 people, you have to either go somewhere else or pick 2 rooms. Art of Animation has actually family suites that can hold, I think, about 6 people per room.
Yeah.
So the prices for the value resorts vary during the season. All of these resorts vary during the season. So you'll have like peak, you know, holidays, summer, you have different seasons. But I would say on average, the value resorts, you can get it from about $100 a night from the All-Stars, depending on the season, to up to like $300 and something because of that Art of Animation. You get a little more benefits and perks if you do the Art of Animation suites. But they do have Little Mermaid rooms, but those are not suites, so there's a whole thing. But those are the value resorts. In value resorts, you're not gonna have a sit-down restaurant. You're not gonna have a slide at your pool. You're gonna have limited transportation options. But for us, we like the value resorts because we're not spending tons of time in the resort, honestly. And even if we are, they're not that bad. They're great. It's a great option. So in your mind, don't picture like a motel on Highway 3. I don't know where Highway 3 is.
It's just right south of us, actually.
Is it Highway 3?
We do it that way, yes.
So don't imagine that. But they do have like doors that open to the outside. It is more motel style.
Not at or Art of Animation.
True.
Their interior.
So I'm just saying.
Well, and our favorite Pop Century is going to be our favorite value resort. At the very beginning, we talked about how time is money to us. One big benefit for us for Pop Century is it has a bus transportation that takes you directly to other parks. You don't have to,
bus stop.
Yeah, you don't have to connect. So there's 1,000 different ways to encourage you to do your research and looking inside of that. Maybe below, if you have a favorite value resort, or maybe there's something about Art of Animation or Pop Century or All-Star, comment below. We'd love to carry on that discussion with you.
So the next is the moderate resorts.
Yeah.
And moderate resorts are going to be examples, Caribbean Beach Club, Port Orleans French Quarter, Port Orleans Riverside. These resorts are going to have a sit-down restaurant. They're going to have a nicer pool. And I would say on average, depending on the season, you're going to be spending about $250 to $350 a night. It kind of varies on, resort. We have never actually stayed at a moderate resort because we love Pop Century and we love the campgrounds anyways. So, but we have visited quite a few of them and they're really nice.
Yeah.
And we've looked at, the rooms online and everything. I just fell. Okay.
Yeah, I think also in the room sizes are a little bit bigger as well. So understand, like, as you increase in resort, you're going to increase in your room size and what you get,
amenities,
closest to the park, and little things. I'm not trying to knock at all Pop Century of Art of Animation, but like the landscaping it's good. As you increase to moderate and as you increase to deluxe, which we'll get to, you go significantly more in just the quality.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to reflect what you are paying.
So moving on to deluxe, which is kind of the last level of resorts at Disney World.
And probably the most commonly known resorts.
Yes.
Whenever you think about Disney World, you think about what? The Polynesian.
The Contemporary. The A-Line building, the Grand Floridian. So these are great, amazing resorts.
Yeah, they're quality.
Mean, spectacular. So at these resorts, you're going to get an amazing pool with like tons of slides and things to do. You're going to get multiple restaurants. You could have signature, you could have sit down, you could have the quick serves. You're going to get like concierge level rooms. There are so many perks and benefits to choosing a deluxe resort. And if that's right for your family, awesome. So the deluxe resorts, I would say, depending on the season, start about $500 a night and can go up to, you just can't even imagine, guys.
Oh.
So it's, again, if your family can afford that, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, so some of the examples we talked about, but also the Animal Kingdom Lodge or the Wilderness Lodge, which don't even feel like you're at a theme park.
Yeah.
So again, the theming and the atmosphere and the environment at these resorts are spectacular. And at Christmas, they decorate like beyond belief. So
if you want to create that magical experience for your family at all facets, from going into the park to being at your resort, all those things, Deluxe is definitely the way to go.
Yep.
You said you don't think you're at a theme park, but when I think of those Deluxes, I really feel like that's like the most Disney World.
Yeah.
Like in regard to experience and all out theming, the details are absolutely ridiculous. Not knocking on Bayou Resorts, because you still feel like you're at Disney World, but there you can really feel it.
Value resorts are like Disney, like thrown at you.
Yeah.
I think the Deluxe resorts are way more subtle in how they go about it. So
yeah, once again, man, comment below. We'd love to know about your experience at a Deluxe. What do you like about it? Have you stayed there before? What are some of your favorite perks? Yeah, we'd love to know for sure. All right, so we talked about where to stay, where to sleep, all those different things. But now let's go into the park and actually talk about tickets, because you would think, oh, you just pay a ticket. It's actually, there's variations and anomalies when it comes to ticket pricing, and the cheapest and best way to go.
Although I would say that this area is kind of the hardest to save money. I know that sounds bad.
That makes sense.
There are ways to do it, but like your resort and your food and your souvenirs, there are easy ways to save money there. I mean, ticket prices are ticket prices, so you don't have a lot of choices. You have a few though, so we'll get started talking about those. Tickets vary depending on the day and the season. They have changed their ticket pricing options, so it's not just like $75 any day of the year to get into the park. It depends on the day, the season, even the park you're going to. So Magic Kingdom tickets are going to be more expensive than, let's say, Hollywood Studios or Epcot. So also, they say the longer you stay, the cheaper it is to play. So if you have more tickets, more days there, the price actually goes down. Now, I believe, and this could change at any time, and I could be wrong, but I believe that the average starting price for an adult is about $109 a day. Again, depends on the season, depends on the park. The more days you stay, the cheaper it goes down. So if you end up staying, let's say you need a 10-day ticket, that ends up being only like $50 a day. Now you're like, I do not need a 10-day ticket. I understand that, that's fine. But just realize that the more tickets you buy, the cheaper it goes down. And those are adult prices. Children are slightly under, but not
too
a
much.
lot.
Not too much. Now there is an option that you can add on. It's about $60 per person, and that is a park hopper ticket option. Now, what is a park hopper ticket option? All that means, instead of you going to Magic Kingdom and buying a ticket for Magic Kingdom and only being able to go to Magic Kingdom, you can actually start your day off there. If you have that park hopper ticket, make your way over to Animal Kingdom if you would like to, and it would not be an extra ticket price. It would be the continual ticket price. So
that's for your whole trip.
Yeah, the whole time.
So it's not $60 a day or anything like that. It's $60 a person for your package. So if you have a 4-day ticket, then it's just an additional $60.
Yeah.
There are times that this will be beneficial, and there are times that you will pay for it and it's not. So I would say if you are brand new to going to Disney World, it might not be worth it, because honestly, there's enough to do in one park one day, and the transportation, getting to other locations can actually take a lot of time that people don't realize. It's not just like walking from here to like next door. Like, it might take an hour to get to the other park. So a lot of times people don't think about that, and they think they can just hop here and there like a park hopper. But I would say that when it does make sense is if you're going during a really crowded season and you have the option to be like, oh, we're going to this park, it's getting too crowded, there's another park that's having lower wait times, let's shoot over there, let's change our plans. So if your family is one of those families that can just be like, no, let's skip this and let's do something else. Or if you are staying on property and you have the benefit of having the extra magic hours, you can go to a park just for those extra magic hours, which will be less, and then leave, because actually the extra magic hours park ends up being the most crowded for the day.
So there's lots of variables inside of that. If you're like trying to save money and go the cheapest possible, you probably just don't even want to get that option. But if you want to be able to do that, you want that experience, no, right now it's $60. and it's per person, not per ticket. So it's like per person for the whole trip. So it's a really good bargain for sure.
Also, Disney World has now started offering the half or the midday park tickets, and these start at only $87, and that's really a great deal. I think you have to arrive to the park you can't arrive before 1. So if your family is like, no, we like to sleep in and we don't want to be there early, and maybe the park is open till midnight or 2 with extra magic hours, there's no reason for you to get up early. So this is really an awesome option and a way to save money if your family maybe has older kids or something that they like to sleep in the morning and they would rather stay late at night at the parks.
Yeah, I haven't even heard about this one. Now, we haven't been able to experience that one as well. But yeah, once again, it's about who you are and what kind of trip you want to take. If you want to go all out, full bang, then for sure you want to get the full ticket. But if, like Sheena was saying, you want to save a couple dollars, take advantage because you just know the rhythms your family's going to be in, that midday ticket option is going to be primo.
Our next topic of discussion is the food in Disney World.
That's our thing.
It is. This is very varying.
It varies.
So there are 3 different types of food options that you can have at Disney World. You have snacks, quick serve, or sit down.
Yep.
So snacks are just what you imagine. It's your popcorn, it's your pretzels, it's your ice cream, it's all of that. And these vary a little bit, but I would say in general, and the prices have gone up, sadly, but I would say in general, you're gonna spend about $6 per snack. So you can kind of judge for your family. Are you gonna wanna, what we enjoy and what I plan to do, snack around Disney? Yeah. Like, you want all the snacks, you want all the Dole Whips, you want all the spring rolls,
Mickey
you want
bars.
all those Mickey bars.
Yes.
So is that how your family wants to eat? I mean, it's not very nutritious, but it's fun.
But you're on vacation. You're on vacation.
You're on vacation. That's what we say. So if your family likes to do that and likes to eat a bunch of snacks, you might not need to spend money at quick serves or sit downs as often. So again, it's all about what your family likes. Yep. So the next option is quick serve.
Quick serve,
and this is, think about like fast food. So these are places that you can mobile order on your phone, but in general, you're gonna walk up, place your order, go find a seat, or wait for your food and then go find a seat. Again, think of it more like fast food, but there are plenty of different options of quick serve restaurants. You can get like pizza, hot dogs.
And when you hear quick serve and fast food, it's not always, I don't want you to associate that with poor quality food. Yeah. Like, you get good quality, good food at a quick serve. The thing is your price. But how much would you say a quick serve costs?
So I would say the average price of a quick serve meal can be anywhere between $12 and I would say $18. And I know you're thinking, that's a fast food meal price. Well, it is for theme park. I mean, even our local theme park, getting a hamburger, fries, and a drink is about $15. Yeah. No joke.
Yeah.
So it's on par with theme park food. So I would say between $12 and $18.
Now, as Sheena's talking about quick serves, you can actually click right here, this link, and we'll actually talk about our favorite quick serve places.
I think the link might be up here. Up here, actually. You'll see it. You won't miss it.
Surprise!
So one of the budget saving tips for quick serve restaurants is they are huge meals.
Oh my gosh.
They are really big meals. So for our family of 4, we have 2 teenage daughters now. I would say sometimes we can do 2 if we've been snacking. I would say in general, we can probably do 3 meals and split it between all 4 of us. Now, if you have, really big eaters, I don't know, we're pretty big eaters in our household. Yeah. These are like big plates of food. So don't be afraid to share a meal.
Here's a little tip, specifically Casey's Corner. They do hot dogs there in Magic Kingdom down on Main Street, okay? You can get a big hot dog, you can get a drink, and a thing of fries for like $13 or $14. It's just really cheap. And we only need 2 of those, and it feeds all 4 of us, okay?
I wouldn't say it was really cheap. I mean, nothing at Disney World's really cheap.
Cheap in comparison to other things. I'll say that.
Okay, next we have the sit-down level.
Yes.
So sit-down is like a true restaurant. Yeah. So you go in, you have a waiter or a waitress that comes and takes your order, and you tip them at the end. That's a sit-down restaurant. So these prices are the greatest variation.
Oh, big time.
Because you can go somewhere that has like sandwiches and soups and salads and things like that. So you can order a meal for like $15, $20, but you can also order meals that are like $80
Yeah.
or like Victoria and Albert's, which is like $180 or something
That's
like that.
on the extreme end.
Yeah.
You can get steaks like for $50 and $40 just for the steak. So it really is varying when it comes to sit down.
Buffets,
Oh, yeah.
any all you can eat is always on the pricier side, like averaging about $50 a person.
But it's not like a buffet you'd think. Like
Some
most
of them are a buffet, you think.
yeah, it's true. Most buffets are like, it's not just like one or two meats. They're pretty elaborate, but it all depends, once again.
Yeah, so sit downs are the ones that can vary the greatest. But just realize if you go to a sit down, you don't have to spend $50 on a meal. You can easily get $20, $25, even a $30 meal and be good there.
Now, there is one last one that people may not talk about or even be aware of. That's probably your cheapest and your best option if you're trying to save a buck to maximize your trip and stay as long as possible. And that is bringing your own food in. That's right. You can bring your own food in. Now, you're like, are you saying that I can carry around a cooler the whole time? No, you can put those aside. You have like lockers you can rent and those things. But it is very common.
But you can. I mean, if you have a cooler and you have a stroller and you want to carry your small little lunch bag with you, that's totally okay. You can do that.
Yep. But man, here's the thing. You can bring sandwiches in. You can really slash your budget down significantly by doing that. Actually, for us, we try to save a buck here and there. We're not major breakfast people. So for us, like we'll bring our own little snack bars and eat those in line while we're waiting. So that right there, if you're looking to save the most money, I would definitely bring in your own food, and you can still accompany it with snacks like what we talked about. Or if you want to, bring your food one day and then do a quick serve another day and then do a sit down. So many different options, but understand Disney isn't every time you sit down, you're spending $300, you're spending $400. You can go on a budget, 100%, 100%.
Next, we're going to talk about souvenirs. So anytime you go on vacation, you obviously want to bring back something to remember your vacation. This is another place that you can really fudge on a little bit. Now, I will give my caveat to that. So Disney has, I mean, all kinds of prices of souvenirs. The shirts, the mini ears, the mugs, the towels, the keychain, the magnets, the Christmas ornaments. I mean, you could go on and on. Any kind of souvenir that you can imagine, you could get at Disney World. But that means that there's any kind of, like, all kinds of prices too. So don't feel like you're gonna have to go and spend $60 on a souvenir. You can easily spend $10 or, you know, just get a little magnet, something that's small, something that's not extreme. But there are certain things that, like the sweatshirts at Disney World, it's not gonna be strange to see a $60 sweatshirt or a $65 sweatshirt. These mini ears average about $27. I would say a coffee mug is about $15. So just
but even like coffee mugs, we've seen them as low as $9.99 up to $18 and $19.
Yeah.
So just within a coffee mug, there's a large variety. I think about the souvenirs, what I would recommend doing is shop around, look around. Don't grab the first thing that you see. Look around and see, because you might find something you really like at the price point that you're wanting, and that's going to be the best bet. But yeah, souvenirs, man, it's pretty wide range. Just depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
So another little trick that you can do is actually before you leave, if you are trying to get souvenirs for your kids, you can buy Disney things before you go on your trip, and I promise you it's going to be a lot cheaper. So if you just want to be able to give your kids Disney type souvenirs while you're on your trip, go to Target, go to Walmart, go to the local Disney outlet store, whatever it is, buy a few things, and then let them have those gifts in the room before you go, or maybe even take them to the park and let them open them there. Here's my one sad thing about this is that I really like the memory of being like, oh, that was the first mini ears you got. That was, oh, this is where we were. So there's that memory associated with it. But maybe if you have little kids and it's really more about just like having that Disney thing, it might be better to bring them in. But, you know, if you're like me and you're sentimental and you like the memory that goes along with the item, you might just rather budget and buy your souvenirs.
Yeah,
there.
and for us, it might be like, oh yeah, we're gonna just budget whatever dollar amount, and you can get whatever souvenirs you want within that range. And our oldest daughter may pick one big flashbang thing, and the younger one may pick a couple different things.
The last thing we're going to cover is traveling to and from Disney World.
This is a big one.
So this is going to really vary per family, where you live in the United States or in the world. So our biggest things to consider are how far away are you from Disney World? Are you easy driving distance? Lucky. Maybe you're going to save some money. You just have your own car, pay for gas, and drive right down there. But if you're driving, there's something also to think about. Are you like 12 hours away? Are you 18 hours away? So you're going to have to stay somewhere overnight. So budget that in. And then gas for that long trip. Also, if you take your own car, there is parking fees at all of the resorts, not only the Disney
parks.
Yes. But at the Disney World resorts, you have a parking fee to park your car at the resorts. Most Orlando hotels, it's the same. You have a parking fee. If you stay on property at Disney World, I don't actually think you have to pay at the parks.
There you go.
If you are staying off property, then you still have to pay to park at the Magic Kingdom, at Epcot, wherever that is. So you need to think of parking fees, but maybe your family is like ours and you prefer flying. So a couple of tricks here is if you have several airports that are close to you, you might try and check out which one is cheaper, because there might actually be a cheaper airport. You might have to drive a little bit further or whatever it is, but different airports actually have different prices to fly. Also, what was I gonna say? If you fly out on certain days, you're going to find cheaper rates. We have found that there is a significant difference flying out Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, as opposed to
on a weekend,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Big difference flying in and out in those middle days. I'm talking about can be hundreds of dollars per ticket difference. So flying in and out in the middle of the week. You can also use points. Yeah,
if you have a credit card and you build up points maybe with Southwest or Delta or something like that, or you've got some kind of connection to that credit card reward system, 100% do that. It'll save you significantly when it comes to flying.
That's how we actually fly to Disney World every time, is we use our points. We have Southwest points. And so we fly for free when we go. So that is a great benefit to us. Also, when you go, if you're flying, if you decide you want to rent a car, that's something else to think about. Because now not only are you going to have the rental car fee, but you're going to have those parking fees that we talked about and those gas fees. We prefer using the Magical Express, and because we stay on Disney property, that's a perk. The Magical Express is the transportation that takes you from the airport to the resort, from the resort back to the airport. If you're staying off property, Disney World's about 40 minutes away from MCO, which is Orlando's International Airport. So you're gonna have to figure out, are you going to have to Uber it? Are you going to have to get a taxi? I don't think they currently have a train system that's running there. I think that's like in the works and imagination, but I don't think they have any sort of real public transportation that can get you from the airport down to Orlando. So you have to think about those fees as well.
Well, just think about it. If you're staying on property and it may be $50 more to stay on property than it is to stay off of property, $50 real fast can go away in the rental car, in the gas, in the fees, in the transportation, all of those things. Are you really saving it?
I think our family, we prefer, because of our location, we prefer flying on Southwest because of our points. We prefer flying in and out on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. We prefer the Disney transportation because it's already included. That's why we stay on property. So there's a whole time versus money balance here. But for us, it makes total sense to do it that way.
So hopefully this video here has helped you understand all that there is to know about Disney and how much it can be and how much it can't be, because it can get really pricey, but but you can actually go on a really good budget. We want you to please click below, comment below, let us know about your experience. What kind of tips do you have? How do you save a buck? What have you done?
Comment below also if we missed anything.
Yeah.
If there's something that you're like, hey, you didn't think about this, please let us know what you think. Also, if you want to watch any of our other videos, we've put a few right here for you to choose from. So take your pick. They're both pretty good, but you can do this one or you can do that one up there. It just depends on what is floating your boat today. But we hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.
See ya.